Hi there, I'm Tara Kestner. Welcome to this Back to Basics yoga class. This class came about when my friend Kristof, who I consider to be one of the best massage therapists in the country, asked me if I would be interested in doing a video for her clients and the maladies that she sees the most. And I said, heck yeah. And she gave me a free shirt, and here we are. So this class is going to address issues of the neck and shoulders and things to deal with low back pain. It's absolutely beginner friendly. You can do it sitting on the floor, you can do it sitting in a chair. So give it a try. If you like it, please subscribe to the channel, and I promise you, you will not get a deluge of emails. It is absolutely free at all times. It just supports the channel within the YouTube platform. With that, let's get started. Go ahead and find a comfortable way to sit. If sitting on the floor is not comfortable for you, go ahead and sit in a chair and give this a try. If sitting cross-legged like this is difficult for you, we like to get the knees and the hips on the same plane. So if the knees won't go down to the hips, let's bring the hips up to the knees by sitting on a towel or a folded blanket or even a really sturdy pillow. So settle in, whatever position you find comfortable, and begin to close down your eyes. And take a nice slow breath in. You notice I said slow, I didn't say deep. So just try to slow the breath down. Oftentimes you try to take that deep breath and you end up gulping in air. So what I'd like you to do is breathe in nice and slow. Pause between your inhale and your exhale, and then blow it out softly through your mouth. And on each successive breath, begin to lengthen out that pause between the inhale and the exhale. And let's take 3 breaths together here. I'll count you through them. Begin to inhale. Here we go. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. And just allow your breath to go back to its natural pace and depth. And begin to open up your eyes. Bring your hands around behind you. With an inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And turn the palms down as you exhale. Press that air down. Let's do that again. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Inhale up and stay there. Interlace your fingers together and flip your palms towards the ceiling. Reach up tall. Open up through the hands. Wiggle your thumbs a little bit. And then bring your hands down behind your head. Begin to press your head into your hands. Lift your chin gently. Draw in a slow breath. And as you exhale, begin to lean to your left. Inhale it back up to the center. And as you exhale, lean to your right. Inhale, bring it back up to the center. Begin to look up. Release the hands from behind the head. Flip the palms back up to the ceiling. Reach up there. And then begin to bring the hands down in front of your chest. Start to lower your chin towards your chest. Round out the upper back. Take a breath right into that space between the shoulder blades. As you exhale, lean forward slightly. Release your hands. Let them come around behind you. Hook your fingers together or interlace all of them. It's up to you, whatever your shoulders will give you. Begin to roll your shoulders up, back and down. Open up through the chest. Take a breath. Let it go. Begin to move your hands as one unit over towards your right hip. And then release your right hand down to the side. Keeping this left hand behind your back. You're going to begin to drop your right ear towards your right shoulder, face forward. Take a breath in. Blow it out slow. Begin to turn your face down and to the right. And then move your chin a little closer to your chest. Take a breath in. Blow it out slow. And your face back forward. And slowly turn your face up and to the left. So you're letting this area shorten up, letting the blood flush back into this trap muscle, but at the same time stretching out a little bit on the right side of the jaw, down into the collarbone and into the sternum. Take a breath in and blow it out slow. Bring your face back forward one more time, dropping right ear towards right shoulder. This time, option to bring that right hand on up. Rest it on your head. And don't push, just let the hand be heavy. Take a breath in and blow it out slow. Release your hand. Your hands back behind you. With an inhale, sweep the arms up into the air. Interlace the fingers. Now look up and notice which index finger is on the inside. Unhook your hands, rehook them with the other index finger in. Flip your palms up to the ceiling. When you're ready, bring your hands down behind your head. Push your head into your hands. Take a breath in. As you exhale, begin to lean to your left. And let your left hand drop on down to the ground. Begin to point your elbow up at the ceiling, starting to look up there, opening up a little bit more. And then bring it back to the center. Interlace the hands again. Come to the center. And then lean to your right. You can stay right here. If this is comfortable, or go ahead and drop that right hand on down. Begin to look up. Start pointing that elbow up and back. And bring it back to the center. Coming back to the center, look up. Release your hands. Turn those palms up to the ceiling. Look up, and when you're ready, bring your hands down in front of your chest. Lower your chin to your chest. Take a breath in as you round out the upper back. Blow it out slow here. And release your hands. Bring them around behind you. Hook your fingers or interlace them all. Roll the shoulders up to your ears, back, and down. Start to lift the center of the chest. Draw a breath right into the center of that chest. As you exhale, relax your shoulders. Bring your hands as one unit over to your left hip this time, and let your left hip hand drop down by your side. Start to drop your left ear directly towards your left shoulder. You'll feel all this tension right in here in the upper trap. Take a breath in. Blow it out nice and slow. Begin to turn your face down, looking down at your left hand. And then draw your chin a little closer to your chest. Let your head just hang. Take a breath in. And blow it out slow. Begin to look back forward. And then looking up. And behind you slightly. Draw on that slow breath. Let it go. And then face back forward. One more time, dropping left ear towards left shoulder. Option to bring the hand up and just rest it on the head, creating just a little more drag in the upper trap. One more big slow breath here. And then we'll release and let that go. And the shoulders a little roll. And then come on over to hands and knees. If you are in a chair, you're going to come and face the chair with your hands on the seat of the chair. Coming to all fours and begin to drop your belly and lift your chin. Cow pose. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, round your back, tucking your tail under, bringing chin towards chest. And then release. Do that again. Inhale. Drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, round up into that cat stretch. And do that one more time. Inhale to cow pose. Exhale to cat stretch. And this time, begin to sink your hips towards your heels. Keep your hands where they are. You're going to meet resistance along the way, and that's okay. Maybe you come down onto your forearms. Maybe you can bring forehead all the way down onto the mat. It doesn't matter where you get. Just settle back in. Take a few slow breaths here. Notice where the resistance comes up. It might be the fronts of your ankles. It might be your knees, your quads. Just notice it. And with your exhale, try to ease into that. Let's put those three poses together. So as you inhale, come to cow pose. As you exhale, round into cat stretch. As you inhale, sink back to that child's pose. And exhale into that resistance. 2 more times. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale to child's pose. Exhale here. 1 more. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale to child's pose. Exhale here. Just pause. Begin to lift your gaze so you can see the top edge of your mat and come forward and onto your belly. Now, if you're doing this using a chair, you'll want to walk up to a wall. Stand facing the wall as close as you can. Hands are next to your chest. If you're down on the ground, extend your legs out long and lift your knees about 1 inch off the mat. Begin to peel the chest away from the floor or the mat, priming the muscles of the back. Blow the air out as you lower back down. Cobra pose. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. Peel it up. Just feel the back muscles engaged. Don't push. Exhale. Lower it down. 1 more. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. And relax. Let's bring the arms up overhead. Grab opposite elbows. Rest your head on your arms and separate your feet about hip distance or even wider. Even the width of the mat would be good. Untuck your toes. Coming into Sphinx pose. Little back bend. Begin to lift your head. And very carefully begin to walk your elbows back. Just a little bit at first. Notice how that feels as you create a little compression in the low spine. But you're opening up through the front of the body. When you're doing this on the wall, you'll want to have your elbows and your shoulders in line with one another, forearms on the wall, and just begin to lift your chin, trying to get your toes as close as you can to the wall. Now see if you can walk those elbows back a little more if you're down on the floor. See how that feels. If there's any pinching, twitching, burning, just overall bad sensation in the low back, you're going to stop and back off. Now maybe you can get the elbows all the way under the shoulders. You can bring the forearms out, press the palms together or palms into the floor. Lift and lower the chin to neutralize the neck and take 3 very slow breaths here. Draw in a nice slow inhale and really lengthen out that exhale. Blow it out very slowly. Let's do that again. Big slow inhale. Nice slow exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Lower back down. And start to push yourself off of the ground. Walking your knees underneath you. Step away from that wall. If you're down here, begin to tuck your toes under. Lift one knee and then the other. Drop your head and begin to lift your hips up. Coming through a crouching position and into downward facing dog, a big upside down V. And just start pedaling out the heels. Don't even bother to straighten out the legs right now. Just warm up those calf muscles a little, keeping as much bend in the knee as you need. Your gaze should be at your knees or your thighs, so your neck can be nice and long. And then begin to shuffle the feet forward, bringing the knees up under your belly, letting your belly find a perch on the tops of your thighs. Create a little shelf there. And drop your head and just let your spine decompress. Steady yourself with your fingertips, or if it feels good, grab opposite elbows and really create some drag in that mid-back. Now you can just be still here, or you can start to sway a little from side to side, bringing the arms around the outer edges of the shins, engaging the QL muscles, tucking the chin to the chest. Eventually becoming still in the center, dropping the hands down if they're lifted. Begin to slide your hands up the fronts of your shins. Start to straighten out your legs, and that may mean your hands travel all the way up onto your thighs. Wherever they need to be to get the legs straight, with a nice flat back. Don't let your back round. So if you need to be up here, that's fine. But just keep working with a flat back and straight legs. See what's going on in these hamstrings and the calves. And bend the knees and slide back down, dropping the head. With an inhale, start to take your arms wide. Rise up to standing. Coming up here, getting the feet about hip distance apart. Kind of move around in the feet until you can settle in. Relax your shoulders. Take a breath. And as you exhale, bend your knees. Turn your palms out and swan dive down over the legs. Inhale, bring it back up nice and slow. You can go halfway down if that's better for your back. And then exhale it down. Just starting to move through the joints, moving the blood around. Inhale it up. And exhaling it down. We're going to pause down here. Find that halfway lift again. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins, flatten out the back. Blow it out slow as you bend the knees and slide back down, dropping the head. Let's put that together. Inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. One more time. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Drop your head, stay here. Begin to walk your fingertips out in front of you and walk your feet back to downward facing dog. You're going to begin to lift your left leg up behind you, roll your ankle out a little bit, and gently press into that right heel. Don't have to lift your leg high, you just would like the leg to be straight. Now bend that knee, bring it towards your chest and step it onto the mat. You might have to help it with your left hand. Gently lower your knee on down. Now shift around forward and back until you can get reasonably comfortable. You like this knee right over top of this ankle. You don't want it out in front, it'll strain that Achilles tendon. So draw it back. Begin to crawl up that leg. Now maybe for today you're right here. Eventually you make it up to the pose I have coined baseball general manager. The higher the shoulders come, the more you're going to draw this hip flexor region out. And maybe you can extend the arms up overhead. Maybe that's something you work up to as you do this class a few times and it becomes a little more natural to you. Take a slow breath in. Exhale into that tension you're feeling in your right leg. One more breath here. And then we'll all, on the exhale, come down. Right hand is going to come to the mat. Left hand is going to come onto this knee. You're going to look to the left and turn your chest towards the inside of that knee. If you'd like a little more, lift that left hand up in the air. Revolved lunge. And then bring it on down. Now, tuck your back toe under. Lift your back knee up. Slide that foot forward. And then spin the back foot flat. So you can flatten it out at a comfortable angle. Keep this knee above the ankle. Begin to press yourself up to standing. It gets easier over time. Now we want the hips to come around and both hip bones to be facing the short edge of the mat. And just feel what's going on here as you bend and straighten this front leg. Let's add the arms. When you're ready, inhale. Bring the arms up overhead. And take a couple of breaths here. You might want to draw back up and settle back in, or maybe you can be static and be still. Just keep your movements smooth and slow. Don't press too hard. Take one more breath. Relax your shoulders. And we'll bring the hands on down to the hips. We're going to turn to the right. Now face the long edge of the mat. Take the feet a little wider. Line up your big toes. Look down at your left foot. Pick up your toes, pivot on your heel, and begin to roll along the outside edge of your foot, keeping your arch lifted so you can wiggle your big toe. Bringing that knee forward, but not so much that it goes beyond the ankle. It can be back, which is fine. And we're opening up here. Settle into your legs. Bring the arms up, palms up, and with an inhale, bring the arms up overhead and straighten out that front leg. Turn the palms out, and as you exhale, come back to level arms, stacking that knee above the ankle. Let's do that one more time just to get the muscles warm. Inhale, reach up, straighten the front leg. Exhale, settle into this warrior two to stay. Breathe into the tension. One more breath here. And then bend that front arm to 90 degrees. Let the hand or the forearm come to rest on this front leg. Now opening the chest out to the long edge of the mat, you can reach up. If it's too much, hand can come down onto the hip, or you can reach over your head. As you progress and you get stronger, you can begin to slide your left hand down to the mat, getting lower. But for today, we'll stay on the hand or the forearm. Draw a nice slow breath in and let it go. Now keep the legs just as they are, but cartwheel the arms back. Left hand reaches for the ceiling, right hand drops behind you. Reverse warrior. As you become more comfortable with this pose, you can take the right hand behind your back and slide the back side of the hand along your low back. Bind that right shoulder. Take a breath. And as you exhale, release. Cartwheel the hands all the way to the ground. And a step back to that downward facing dog. Now from here, we're going to hinge forward into plank. Top of a push-up. You are welcome to lower to your knees or begin to push through the heels, lifting the gaze, keeping that inclined plane in the back. Draw a strong breath in. And as you exhale, begin to lower yourself down, maybe part way, maybe all the way to the mat. And pause. On the inhale, take that cobra pose we did before, or reach forward with the chest. Begin to lift the gaze, straighten out the arms, and untuck your toes. Upward facing dog. Relax your shoulders, keep your gaze level. Don't lift your face and crunch your neck. One more breath here. And we'll find our way back to downward facing dog, maybe through all fours if you're in cobra, or retuck your toes and lift your hips back up one way or another. Get there and settle in. Take a breath, and we'll try all of that on the other side. This time we'll lift the right leg up behind us. Roll that ankle out a few times. You've got this. Bring your knee towards your chest. Step your foot onto the mat and lower your back knee down. You might want to help that foot forward a little if you need a little more. Stack up your joints and begin that ascent up your leg. Seeing how the hip flexor feels at each level. The higher the shoulders come and stack over the hips, the more intense that stretch is going to be. So you can stay here, lean forward, or if you're feeling it today, bring the arms up and overhead and relax your shoulders. When you're feeling really good, you can look up through the fingertips. Take a breath in. Blow it out slow. One more of those. Nice big exhale. Bring it on down. Left hand to the mat. Right hand onto that knee. Begin to turn the chest towards the inside of the knee, looking around behind you. If it feels okay, lift that right hand off your knee, reach up, open up the chest a little bit, let that hand drift back behind you, pushing the ground away rather than dumping the weight into your left wrist. And then we'll bring it on down. Support yourself with your fingertips. Tuck your back toe under, lift up your back knee. Slide that foot forward and then turn the toe out, flatten your foot on the mat. Begin to crawl up or push off of that front foot. Bring yourself up to standing. Bring the hips around so that they're facing forward towards the short edge of the mat. Bend and straighten that knee and come into the warrior one in the lower body. Stay here. Or bring the arms up and overhead, lifting the center of the chest, lifting the chin. Relax your shoulders and breathe. And let your hands come on down. This time, turn to your left. Take your feet wide. Lift up your right toes, pivot on the heel, roll along the outer edge of that foot as you take the knee out over top the ankle. You'd like the knee angling out. Don't want the knee dropping in. When you get your legs settled, bring your arms up, flip your palms up, and with an inhale, straighten the front leg, reach up overhead. Turn the palms down and come into that warrior two. Let's do that again. With the inhale, reach up. On the exhale, come into that warrior two. You can do another one if you want, inhaling up, or you can stay right there. Exhale, bringing it down and become static, or you can continue to move around if that feels good. Take a breath. Bend that front arm to 90 degrees. Hand or forearm onto the front leg. Lean into it. Reach up tall with that left hand. Keep it here or reach over your head. Eventually, as I said, when you get stronger, slide the fingertips down to the ground, using the right arm to brace the knee right over top of the ankle. Take one more breath. And when you're ready, inhale, reverse warrior. Cartwheel the arms back. Keep the legs just as they are. And you can let that left hand come behind you, sliding along your backside towards your right hip. One more breath. As you exhale, come back to that warrior two this time. Straighten out that front leg. We're going to finish in prasarita. So hands to the hips, pick up the big toes and pivot towards the long edge of the mat. Now with a nice flat back, begin to hinge forward at the waist. Stop at the halfway point, sliding the hands down the outsides of the legs, testing the hamstrings each step of the way. Do not rush. This may be as far as you go today. The feet wider, it's a little easier to stretch out the hamstrings than when the feet are close. If you're feeling really good, continue to slide the hands down the outsides of the legs. Maybe bringing fingertips to the ground in front of you, maybe dropping your head. Take your time here. Look at your left foot. Turn your toes out. Begin to lean to the left, walking your hands over to the left. Side squat. Feel that stretch come up the inside of the right leg. You can do this with your hands up on your thighs. If you don't want to bend this far, bring it back to the center. Look over at your right foot. Pick up your toes. You always want your knee and your toe going in the same direction. Bend that knee. Begin to lean to the right. Move your hands wherever they need to be, whether that's up here or down here. Breathe into it. And then begin to walk the hands around so you're facing the front of your mat again. Lower that back knee down. Come to all fours. Take the knees as wide as they'll go. And sink back to that child's pose. See if there's any difference from the first time you came into this position. Lower on down. You can stack up your fists and rest your head. Make a pillow with your hands, or maybe slide your arms out and rest your head directly on the mat. One last breath here. And begin to make your way on up. We're going to come on to our backs. So bring yourself onto your back with your feet on the mat, knees bent. Let's massage the length of the spine. So begin to drop your knees to the left. And then slowly bring them up through the center and drop them to the right. And just do that a couple of times, massaging out down in that sacrum between the tailbone and the lumbar vertebrae. Then lift the feet, rest your hands on your knees, and begin to rock across the lumbar region of the spine. And then adjust your grip. Hands to the back of the thighs, hug the knees in, lift the feet, and rock across the thoracic vertebrae, back of the ribs. And then be still in your lower body. Let your entire spine come onto the mat. And rock your head a few times from side to side, releasing through the cervical spine. Let's go ahead and interlace the fingers around the left knee. Lift the right foot up into the air. Roll the ankle out a few times. And then slowly lower that leg down. Pause here. Let your left hand drop to the ground. Begin to guide the knee across your belly, rolling onto that right hip to wherever it feels good. Bring it back to the center. Bring that right knee in. Hold on to it as you kick the left foot up into the air. Roll the ankle a few times. And slowly lower that straight leg on down. Drop your right hand onto the ground. Slide it away from you a little. Begin to guide your knee across your belly. Pause. Look to the left. Roll to the left. Any place that feels good. Pause. Roll it back onto your back. Hug the knees in one last time. Hands to the fronts of the knees or the backs. Lifting the knees towards the armpits. Lifting the hips up. Taking a breath in. And as you exhale, release the spine onto the mat. Final relaxation. You can stretch the legs out long. Letting the feet drop open. You can bend the knees where they were. Onto the mat, propping the knees against one another, tucking the tail. Lift your chest and readjust your shoulder blades underneath you, letting the arms drop out to the side or leave them rest on your belly. Close your eyes and just be very still. Start to slow down the breath again. And just rest here. And begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle fingers and toes. And bend your knees and walk your feet back onto the mat if they're not already. And then drop your knees to one side and press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Begin to roll the shoulders around a little. And loosen up the back. Make sure everything still works. Let's take 3 slow breaths here. Big inhale. Slow exhale. Big inhale. Slow exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Take your hands behind you and with a big inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Press the palms together and bring it down the center line. Thank you so much for joining me out here on this breezy day. Namaste.